This is the market video for the week of January 26, 2015. I am Michael Saul, also known as Tiny. If you are on the East Coast, I wish you, or the Northeast, I guess, I wish you the best in the coming snowstorm that everybody is rattling the snow shovels about. So stay safe if you're getting hit by that. Before I take a look at the market overall, I just want to talk about the SPY here for a second. I'm getting some questions why I'm using the IVV as the S&P 500 instead of the SPY, and this is why right here, this tick up here. And it's on TradeStation, it's on eSignal, it's on Thinkorswim. Paul Schatz actually called eSignal and they said, no, it really exists. This was a program trade. But obviously, I mean, I guess it's real because it exists on the SPY, but it didn't exist in the S&P 500 overall. So that's why I'm using IVV, which is just another ETF, another way to, whoops, if I spell it correctly, another way to look at the S&P 500, okay? So that's why I'm using that. Now, last week was a pretty decent week. It was a short week for the market because of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday. So the 3 days, the start of the week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, was nice, and then Friday we took a pause. Now, we have a line in the sand, and that's this 208.49 number. So I am looking for the IVV to get above 208.59 in order to suggest that we will hit a new high. I still do not think the highs are in, so I think we're going to get to a new high, but 208.50 suggests that we get to that new high. Now, the S&P is the middle of the pack as far as indexes and performance. The Dow is doing a little worse than that, but not terrible. I mean, it has a lower high relative to its last high. It's not doing horrible. The Russell also has that lower high in place. And the mid-caps, they have a higher high, so they're one of the leaders. And the NASDAQ is acting, in my opinion, the best, especially since it had that green session on Friday. So I believe the NASDAQ, and you know, as represented by the Qs, are going to hit a new all-time high this year. I don't think they're going to do it this week. But I do believe that we are going higher on the short term. Maybe Monday we have another pause day or a slow day or something we wind up. We do have the FOMC announcement this week. It's on Wednesday. So I do believe that there is a good chance that we will try to trade higher this week. Let's go through the sectors quick. Semiconductors acting okay. I mean, they're not as strong as the NASDAQ, but they're still acting okay. Let's look at some stocks. Clad Tanker had a nice start to the week and then, boom, bombed out on Friday. So that's definitely a problem. Intel, still, in my opinion, the best looking one out of the bunch. It's a slow mover. It's not a real crazy mover, so a lot of people get all crazy with it and say, oh, well, it doesn't move a lot. I don't want to be involved. Okay, well, that's fine. But anyway, that's up to you. Here's NVIDIA, broke down out of its coil now. It may be swiping the other side of it. Let's look at like an ADI. This is kind of boring too, not really doing much. Let's look at the banks. Now, the banks have been lagging. They had a nice day on Thursday. Friday, they gave a little bit back, but that's okay. It was a pause day. Banks came out of the coil to the upside. Got to get above these moving averages for me to get totally all out bullish. Bank of America, I mean, got stymied at the 200-day. Here's Citigroup. Watch the 200-day moving average. JP Morgan. Watch the 200-day moving average as well. These all really don't look that great here. Okay, Bank of New York. Thursday with the nice day, and then Friday, kaputs. Let's see, you got Zion reporting this week. They don't really look that good. Here's Northern Trust, looking the best out of the bunch, but still in just a kind of a sloppy range. XBD, which is the brokers, they pivoted off the 200-day moving average. That's nice. Here's Goldman, nice bounce, 10-day moving average turned it. Here's Morgan, 10-day moving average turned it. So, I mean, they're trying to set up, but they're not getting a lot of follow-through yet. So we want to watch these. Here's Caterpillar, they have earnings coming up. Does not look good, looks bearish. John Deere looks better, above the moving averages, but also not a barn burner there. Let's look at some of the glamour stocks. Amazon, yeah, had a decent week. I mean, came out of this flag, came down to the test, watched the 200-day moving average. Netflix, I believe, reports this week, or they reported, I think. I don't follow Netflix, I guess, as well as I should, but you could see here, this had the retest down to the lows and then the little double bottom and then boom. This was a pretty big move. I guess this is off of earnings. So this is a nice thrust. I want to see if it pauses here and continues. Google reports Thursday. All right, want to watch the 200-day moving average. Can they get there before earnings? Can they get above it after earnings? Apple reports Tuesday. So we got some potential rock and rolling going on early this week. Tuesday Apple earnings, Wednesday the FOMC. All right, so we want to watch this here. Facebook also reports this week. I mean, not doing anything wrong, just in a big range for the last, 6, 7, 8 months. Twitter, got to get over the 200-day moving average before I am reinterested. And LinkedIn looks decent. See if it can get back above this last high up here at 243 and a quarter. Okay, let's look at bonds. Bonds are in a coil here. They still look like they want to go higher. Really acting well here. The euro, yeah, I mean, just getting smacked. Rate decision was Thursday and sold off, then had the follow through on Friday. It broke down out of this very key support zone, a support level that I was talking about. I am really surprised that it didn't at least hold it up a little bit. Let's go to the weekly chart. I mean, just right through it here. So could we get a little snapback? Yes, but I've been saying it for a while now. I think that the euro is going par here, and I really think that the euro is eventually going to go to new all-time lows. Okay, but I think it's going to par at a minimum here, and I know Paul agrees with me on that. But this is, this could be the breakdown here, and if it is on the monthly chart, then this should bear flag and continue lower. Okay, but I think it's oversold at this point. I mean, we've had a nice move down from 1.4, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little bit of a relief, kind of a little bit of a snapback / relief kind of deal. Here's gold looking great, just really looking great. Nice coil here. It is stretched from the moving averages, but it should go higher on the short term. And looking at 1350, even if it pulls back first, it should hold these moving averages and try to move higher here. So that's gold. Silver, yeah, into the 200 days. Obviously got to get above that. Here's crude oil. I still think looks lower, but momentum is absolutely slowing down. So maybe we'll get a little bit of a W down here. Let's remove this. Maybe we'll get a small W down here. Natural gas, somebody asked about. All right, it doesn't look that great to me. Looks like it wants to go lower as well. Wheat looks like it's consolidating. 512 is going to be a key number for it to hold, if not lower. Corn looks like it's consolidating under the moving averages here. So this looks like it may want to break down out of this. If it does, look for a short opportunity there. And you got beans. Also looks like it's kind of creeping down. See if they're going to test the September / October lows. Coffee. Yeah, coffee had this little relief. Now it could be a possible double bottom here, but I mean, if this gives way, then we're looking at 150 pretty quick, which is right around the bottom of this level here. I mean, maybe even a little bit above it, maybe 153, 154. Sugar. Yeah, sugar had a nice bounce up, but it's also rolling over now, so we want to keep our eye on this. So let's recap. Here's the IVV again. I think that we are going to get above that 208.49 number, but I want to wait and see if we do. This is a good week for the bulls to kind of step in here. So let's see if we get above that 208.50. I'm going to, I want to see the bulls prove it to me. You can see the S&P as I'm doing this at S&P Futures. I'm doing this at 8:35 p.m. down 1350. So still pulling back inside of Thursday's candle, and this was Friday's, and this is Sunday so far. So it's still holding here. And we do have the FOMC meeting, which does have a bullish tendency. But again, all eyes for me are going to be focused on this 208.49 number. If we get above it and we stick above it, then we should see new highs. All right. Have a great week. Watch out for Apple, Google, the FOMC, and everything else in the world. And I will talk to you in the daily email if you sign up at stockmarkettrendsx.com or in next week's video. Have a great trading week.